Hi guys, and welcome back to another Tea Tuesday. Honestly, I probably should call it like Wine Tuesday or like Coffee Tuesday because it seems like I'm only ever drinking wine or coffee. No shame, whatevs. But this week I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Not different so much, it's still gonna be me talking about Korea and things, but I haven't actually been asked this question specifically. You guys know, Roven, you guys know that the Olympics are in Korea, correct? Obviously, Pyeongchang. I actually went to the opening ceremony. That's what Friday is gonna be actually. The vlog is gonna be the opening ceremony. Which I'm currently working on. But I'm gonna put this on because how freaking cute is this? It's so cute. Anyway, I thought I'd talk about Pyeongchang and some of the issues that the foreigners specifically are facing with regards to the Pyeongchang 2018 Olympics. Now, I only attended so far the opening ceremony. I really didn't have any issues. My tickets came in the mail, which I uploaded like last year. I had no issues getting my tickets. I had no issues other than the price. Bitch paid a lot of money for them tickets. It was expensive AF, like swear it was so expensive. But like I really didn't have any issues with ticketing. I didn't have any issues with transportation, and I didn't really have any issues once I was at the venues. Now, that has not been the situation for everybody. A lot of foreigners, specifically foreigners who have come to Korea for the first time or don't live here, have been experiencing so many problems. And I thought I would talk about some of the issues that foreigners were facing in regards to the Pyeongchang Olympics. Again, I did not face any of these issues, but I also knew that they could be potential issues. So I kind of planned ahead and went about it in a different way. So let's get started on what are the issues. So don't mind Roven's ear. He wants to be in on this action, apparently. So the first issue that a lot of foreigners faced were ticketing issues. Not necessarily purchasing the tickets, but printing the tickets. Now, those who live in Korea know this is the country of Internet Explorer and ActiveX and bloatware software that you must add to your computer to do any type of transaction on a computer. I swear to you, like, to get any type of banking or any kind of like money, anything with money is extremely difficult here because you have to use Internet Explorer, you have to use ActiveX, and it's slowly changing. Like, I can sometimes use Chrome. I can use Chrome for my non-Hyap bank. I can use Chrome for Citibank, but that's like within the last year. Things are slowly changing, but for the Olympics, you had to add a lot of stuff to your computer to get the print at home tickets. Now, like I said before, I didn't have this issue. I got actual tickets for the opening ceremony. They're beautiful, right? Like, they're really pretty. I did this on purpose because I'm actually going to create like a little memory board with this because I'm never gonna do this again. It's a bucket list item, whatever. So I paid extra for these tickets and I got it sent to me. However, a lot of individuals who did print at home were having issues. One, the Hangul recognition software wasn't on their computer. If they were a foreigner, they didn't live in Korea, they didn't have that actual software, so their tickets weren't printing properly. They also had to add a lot of bloatware and like ActiveX and a bunch of things to their computer so they could print their tickets. There was an option to go in person and get tickets from, like, I think Seoul City Hall and a bunch of other places that you could like physically go and get them. I think at the airport too, once you landed. And a lot of people ended up opting for that option because print at home was such a hard thing. Once people got here and they went to like City Hall and stuff, a lot of them didn't have issues at that point other than lines. Like the queue for the tickets were horrendous apparently, especially at City Hall. Like you would wait like an hour to 2 hours to get your tickets. But once they got to Korea physically, it wasn't that big of a deal. But definitely the print at home option was very difficult for many people. It happens. Like if you don't have the Hangul thing on your app, like the Hangul recognition software on your computer, which why would you if you didn't live in Korea? It's going to be a problem with print at home tickets. So like you have to basically go through a bunch of hoops to get your tickets. Again, I just got souvenir tickets, meaning like this was my actual ticket. I showed them this and I got into the games. So, but yeah, that was definitely a problem, was ticketing, right? Another big problem, like the second big problem, was transportation. Oh, I think this is the biggest problem actually, was transportation. Okay, so we all know Pyeongchang is in Gangwon-do, Gangwon province, right? Not in Gyeonggi-do, which is where I live. I live in Gyeonggi-do. Which is where Seoul is. Well, actually, Seoul isn't in Gyeonggi-do. It's actually in its own province, but it's surrounded by Gyeonggi-do. Let's just get real for a second. But anyway, it's not in the main portion of Korea. It's very countryside. Pyeongchang is very, very countryside, right? So transportation was extremely difficult and still is extremely difficult for many, many people. There was a KTX train built for the Olympics. Fantastic, brilliant, yay. And there's more buses going to Pyeongchang and the ice arenas, right? There's plenty of well, not plenty, but there are buses, there's more buses now, and there's the KTX. Not the issue though, not the issue. Like, had it been just a normal Olympics, I don't think it would have been an issue. The issue arises with New Year's. New Year's, Chinese New Year's, for those back home, Chinese New Year's or Seollal in Korean, is coming up this Friday. Guess what's in town? If you guessed the Olympics, you are correct. So a lot of people were trying to book trains on this KTX that was specifically made for the Olympics, okay? It was specifically made, specifically for the Olympics. It would not have been made otherwise. People trying from outside to get tickets for this KTX, specifically on the days that are traffic heavy for Seollal, we're facing so many issues. First issue, the foreign buyers, the English site, was 6 hours delayed, or was it 12? It was delayed nonetheless. The English language site to purchase tickets for the KTX was delayed. Korean purchasers, Korean ticket purchasers, like on the Korean site, had a window, a better chance of getting the tickets. Additionally, those who came in person to KTX stations to get tickets had a better chance of getting tickets during this period. Now, you don't travel on Seollal or Chuseok if you don't have to, because traffic is a bitch here during that time. If you live in the country, you know that. People who do not live in the country don't necessarily know that. Additionally, the KTX basically, for this time, for Seollal, for the New Year's, is sold out, like instantaneously, like it always is. And KTX was like, well, you know, it's a big holiday in Korea and the demand is so high for this for this train. You know, it's going to happen. It's a very big holiday. That's literally what their excuse was. It's a big holiday. I'm sorry, this train was built for the Olympics. Why? It didn't make much sense to me. And that, honestly, KTX has been the biggest problem for so many people. Booking train tickets has been a hot mess. The app wasn't wanting to work in English for a good chunk of time. You couldn't buy tickets because of Shuttle, like because of New Year's, you couldn't buy tickets. They were sold out, which again, I understand. But so many issues with the KTX for individuals trying to get to the Olympics. Crazy, mind blown. And then third issue is, again, transportation related. I drove to the Olympics. Well, I didn't drive, my friend drove. We rented a car together and we drove to the Olympics together. And we did that on purpose because KTX was sold out, one, and two, it was just a lot more comfortable because after the Olympics finished, we had more time to like mosey around and look around and stuff. So it was a conscious decision to take a car instead of taking the train. We could have, we didn't. But those who took the KTX had so many issues once they got there. KTX, also driving, you don't get let off right at the stadium. You actually have a good, I think, 2 kilometers from the station to the actual stadium. 2 kilometers isn't bad, but they don't want you to walk. Like for safety reasons, they don't want people walking that distance. So they have shuttle buses from the park and ride. It's basically a park and ride. You park your car and you can go to the Olympic Stadium in a bus. Same with KTX. Same with KTX. You get off the KTX and you're supposed to be able to get on a bus and get to the stadium, right? Mm-hmm. Wrong. Apparently, again, I didn't face this issue, but apparently after the games finished, it was a clusterfuck. Oh, sorry. It was a mess. It was a mess of people trying to get out to go to the KTX. One person in this group that I'm a part of spent an hour and a half waiting to get on a bus and then being told, oh, no, this bus doesn't go to that area. You have to go all the way over here. Volunteers at the Olympics really weren't that informed on what anything was happening. People waited in hella long lines to get on buses to go back to KTX. And then some even found out that they weren't going to KTX station, they were going to the park and ride, or they were going somewhere else. And like the confusion related to the shuttle buses. Apparently, I think we're in day 3 or day 4 at this point. Apparently the shuttle buses are no better. Shuttle buses to and from KTX, to and from the 2 different stadiums, they're just a mess. And the volunteers, which is the 4th problem, the volunteers don't really know what's going on. And let's talk about that for a second. The 4th problem, the volunteers. They themselves have been facing issues within this Olympic mess. It's not a mess, really. I mean, again, I didn't have any issues, but I have heard stories from friends who are volunteering there and just random people. The volunteers are facing some serious issues. At one point, there wasn't enough swag. Like, they all have like special hats and special coats, and like they're all decked out in like their Olympic gear, and it's special, so you can find them, right? They ran out of the sizes larger than a medium. So like large, extra large. They ran out of all of them. They have a shit ton of extra smalls and smalls left. They ran out of clothes for the volunteers, right? They ran out of, like, I guess people are complaining about the food. Volunteers are complaining about the food and accommodations. Apparently somebody, like in a six bed room, there are 10 people. And apparently the food is horrendous. But I've also heard that the food's really good. I don't know if it's dependent on if you're an inside or outside volunteer or like what kind of volunteer you are, but I've heard mixed things about the food. And I've also heard that like the outside volunteers, the ones that are outside, Pyeongchang, Gangwon-do in general is so cold. So like being an outside volunteer apparently is so difficult. And it's very, very hard. Again, this is just secondhand speaking. I haven't actually experienced any of this. But yeah, the volunteers are facing some hard ass problems, being misinformed or just issues with on the ground as a volunteer. I can only hope that things get better. They look like they are, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. Like I said, my experience at the Olympics was fine. I really didn't have any problems. But I drove. I prepared hardcore for the Olympics. And I've been in Korea for almost 5 years. So like I kind of knew what was coming for me, but you know, it is what it is. People are facing issues, and I thought that I would talk about the issues that are faced within the foreigner community here, dealing with the Pyeongchang Olympics, right? Nobody's perfect. It happens. And I'm not surprised by some of the issues that we're facing. A little bit salty, but whatever, right? This is a long ass fucking video, but I will see you guys on Friday. It'll be my opening ceremony. And until then, love you.